managing Microsoft Teams. Right at the beginning, I'm going to introduce myself. I am Bekim Dautti. I have bachelor's in informatics with the University of Tirana, Albania. I have master's in information technology with the University of Maryland, University College Europe. I'm also actually pursuing the doctoral studies with the Aspen University. In terms of certification, well, I have several of the certifications. I've started with the very first one, which was the ECDL, or better saying European Computer Driving License, back in 2004. And then with this Certiport mainly is actually delivering Microsoft Office Specialist certification for all of you that you are aware of such certifications. I guess you are. Then went on the end of 2004, beginning of 2005, started with the CompTIA, CompTIA Plus, then went on with the Network Plus and Security Plus. Obviously, since 2002 and 2003, I'm Cisco Certified Academy Instructor. Obviously, I have a certification as well, CCNT and CCNA. Pardon. Then with Microsoft, since 2005, I've actually obtained several certifications. Started with the Microsoft Certified Professional. At that time, it was Windows XP, if I'm not wrong, okay, with the additions. And then moved on towards pursuing the Microsoft Certified System Administrator with Windows Server to the 2003, and System Engineer, and then became Microsoft Certified Trainer by the end of 2005. So, and then also tried a little bit from the programming with the Sun Microsystem at that time, because as you know, it is acquired by the Oracle. Okay, so Sun Certified Java Programmer. So once again, Cisco Certified Academy Instructor since 2002, 2003, and then Microsoft Certified Trainer since 2005. Okay, currently I work as a system administrator for the Kosovo Telecom, where I'm actually administering the SharePoint server. Okay, I work as the external instructor for the QuickStart, and here is that I'm actually delivering this particular webinar. I'm also the founder of the Dautti, which is a startup mainly providing the in Albanian language the courses, virtual instructor-led training or courses in Albanian language for Albanian audience. Okay, so in total, I have 20 plus working experience in different and various companies, organizations. Okay, NGOs as well. Okay, you can reach me at bekim@dautti.com if you think that you have questions from me, and I would gladly provide you the right answer. You can also reach me by the Viber or the WhatsApp at the phone number, which is the cell phone number, which is actually displayed in this particular slide. Okay, let's move on and see what we're going to cover, what we're going to discuss in this particular webinar. We will start first with what is Microsoft Teams. Maybe it's good to actually ask this question, because most probably you that are attending this particular webinar, you are aware or you're using now the Microsoft Teams and you know what is actually Microsoft Teams. Okay, we will see how we download and install Microsoft Teams. Okay, then we will move forward in terms of overviewing some of the main parts of the user interface, Microsoft Teams user interface, such as the overview of the conversations. We'll look at the channels as well, how we share files, meetings, and then concluding this particular webinar with adding tabs and connectors. Obviously, it's going to be wrapping up as well. See if we're going to have questions and answers. Okay, let's move on. So right at the beginning, we are very much interested to find out what is Microsoft Teams. Well, as you know, almost overnight, actually video conferencing has become a big part of our daily life and work. The reason for that is because everyone around the world has started actually to work, learn, and connect with colleagues, with friends and family through the power of the technology. And that way is actually from the kitchen tables to the living room, couches, and from home offices, doubling as the homeschools. People are actually relying on the Microsoft Teams to work and learn. From this, we can actually come to a definition always by respecting actually what is Microsoft saying, that the Microsoft Teams is actually a unified communication and collaboration platform, which is combining persistent workplace chat, video meetings, file storage, including collaboration on files, and application integration. Actually, Microsoft Teams is becoming a very integrated part of our daily life, especially in these circumstances when, because of this pandemic, that people are actually in the home environments. benefiting from the technology such as Microsoft Teams and others, obviously, and not necessarily only this one, in order to perform the work and also also be engaged in the daily work and daily routines. Okay, moving forward. Some sort of the Teams timeline, which is Teams, we're actually referring to the Microsoft Teams. Okay, it all started when Microsoft had considered acquiring the Slack. Maybe you are aware of this particular information. Okay, however, Microsoft did not went on to acquire the Slack. Okay, although it bid it actually around 8 billion for such actually acquisition, but instead Microsoft went on to improve the Sky for Business. And then the result of such work was actually the launching of the Microsoft Teams, which happened in November 2nd, 2016. And then the information from the Microsoft website is telling us that in May 2017, Microsoft announced Microsoft Teams would replace actually the Microsoft Classroom, the Office 365 education. And then at the Microsoft's annual Ignite conference in September 2017, Microsoft confirmed that the Sky for Business is actually going to be Microsoft Teams. Then move on in July 2018 when Microsoft announced a free version. Okay, pay attention, free version. This is actually what the majority of us is actually benefiting from this free version. Okay, although there's some plans and pricing with some other format of the Microsoft Teams being actually provided or offering. And then in July 2018, as we were saying, Microsoft has announced a free version of the Microsoft Teams, offering most of the platform's communication options without no charge, but obviously with some limitation in terms of the numbers of users that can use this particular app, and also like the file storage actually capacity that is available to be used in such particular version. And then in March of this year, 2020, Microsoft Teams had hit 44 million daily users, which is an amazing number of users that are actually that are actually using this particular app. Okay, move on. Let's see what else do we have. Okay, downloading and installing Microsoft Teams. How we can download Microsoft Teams? Well, very straightforward. We need to go to the Microsoft.com, and then obviously from the Microsoft.com, the URL is actually providing this particular slide, but not going on and then reading this particular one. I'm going later on to start, so I've actually divided this particular presentation into two types. The first one is going to be like slides, running the slides, and then we will actually run some hands-on work when we will be actually going on and then providing the information of how we will be actually downloading this particular app. Okay, so primarily we go to this particular slide and then download the Microsoft Teams. Okay, know that the Microsoft Teams is available for the Windows operating system, obviously, because actually the company behind the Microsoft Teams is the Microsoft itself. Okay, it is since December last year available for the Linux, the Mac operating system. Apart from the computer platforms, we can refer to it in that particular way. There's Microsoft Teams is also available for the handheld devices, primarily smartphones and tablets for the Apple iOS and then the Google Android as well. Okay, it is a collaborative software because as we've seen from the definition that we just went over previously in the previous slide, we've seen that we actually we can call, we can chat, we can share files. Okay, so we can have actually a perfect collaborative environment with this particular app. Okay. Because it's coming from Microsoft, and as we know, in general, Microsoft is a proprietary, standard software, develops proprietary software. Then this is also proprietary commercial cloud software, which is available in 26 languages. Okay, so yes, when we go to the site or to the page to download the Microsoft Teams, we'll actually see that these two particular buttons, such as the download for desktop and download for mobile, depends which particular version we are actually interested to use it. In most cases, we will end up using both versions, okay? Because we're very much interested to have it both in our computers and in our handheld devices as well. Okay. In terms of plans and pricing, as we mentioned, there is a free version, but obviously it is limited in terms of the features that we can actually use it. Primarily it is users, the number of users that can use such a free version, and the capacity, the storage that is available to be used in terms of sharing files and then playing with the other content as well. But there are plans and pricing for of the Microsoft Teams. Okay, as you can see, this is available on the Microsoft website as well. But just for information, this is actually part of the Office 365. Okay, and then purchasing a particular plan of the Office 365, which is actually Business Basic, Business Standard, and also the Enterprise one, you can then actually benefit and get the Microsoft Teams as part of a particular specific plan that you're actually acquiring or purchasing. Okay, so then from so far what we've covered in terms of what is Microsoft Teams and then how we can download it, and then obviously we'll proceed in the process of installing it. And then once we install and set up the Microsoft Teams, what would be the reason that a strong reason that we can benefit from using this particular collaborative app, cloud software? Well, chatting from anywhere. Okay, when we say actually chatting from anywhere, this one provides great flexibility, because via the chat from anywhere we can share our opinions and share personality as well. Okay, meet from anywhere. Actually, instantly we can go from group chat to the video conference with the touch of a button, and this is the flexibility of the user interface that the Microsoft Teams is actually providing. Okay, call from anywhere. Well, by using the Teams calling, the phone system, the calling plan, or direct routing, then we can actually take the stress out of the conference calls as well, and then benefit from this call from anywhere feature as well. And then the final one, collaborate from anywhere, is actually by accessing, sharing, and editing almost all of the Office apps, including additional apps that is available to be actually added in the channels, to be added as the connectors. We can actually benefit from all these apps in a real time, and then actually create that perfect or ideal collaborate environment or ecosystem by which we're going to actually interact with our colleagues in a particular joint projects. Okay, moving forward. Assuming that we have downloaded, we have actually installed and then set up the Microsoft Teams for our company, for our organization, okay, for the schooling, okay, then it is actually good to find out what we have in the user interface of this particular app, okay. Well, let us take a tour of the Microsoft Teams user interface when we actually run the version of the desktop in our computer. Okay, what we're going to notice, the most important part of the user interface of the Microsoft Teams is the app bar. Okay, as we can see on the left side of this particular screen. Okay, there we will see the main icons. Okay, such as the activity. The activity is where we'll actually find the mentions, the replies, and other notifications. Then below the activity is the chat, where we will actually see the recent one-to-one chat or group chats, okay, including the contact list as well. And then below activity, below chat is the teams. Well, the teams is actually displaying the teams. It depends on how we have actually structured or organized our particular company, our particular business, our particular schooling, or a particular company. Okay, we see teams and we see members of the teams as well. Okay, inside of the teams, obviously there are channels. We'll see later on when we're going to run the real app. Okay, then what else is actually the files there that we can go to sharing the files as well, which is actually file aggregate. Well, all of the files from all of the teams and the members of the particular teams, okay, can actually interact with one another. Add here that there's a huge benefit that this particular app is actually being connected or using the storage of the OneDrive. If it's actually a purchased plan, then obviously you benefit from the OneDrive for Business. Okay, if it's free, then you're actually benefiting from the OneDrive, which is actually your OneDrive with the Microsoft account. Okay, what else do we have? Well, we have actually the team section. The team section is actually providing the list of the teams, one that we said earlier. Depends how is actually organized your particular company organization. Based on that, you then go along, and then as the system administrator of this particular app, then you go along and then organize the teams based on your actually organizational chart of your business or your company. Okay, what we have else is that within the teams, we have the channels, which is actually representing a dedicated section, okay, within the team that is actually organizing conversations and tasks into a specific topics or projects. The one below that we see on this particular slide is the join or create a team button, which actually it is enabling the process of creating or joining a team. When we say it is enabling the process of creating, actually you go along and by hitting this particular button over here, you can actually create a team. But other than creating the team, you can join a team as well. Okay. In terms of the new chat, as we can see the one up there, okay, on top of this particular user interface. Well, the new chat enables to start a new chat with an individual or with a group as well. Okay, but if we use the at sign, obviously we are actually mentioning a specific member. Okay, then we have on the right side of the new chat button, we have actually the command bar, and the command bar is used to query the apps or perform a search in the teams. Okay, then we have the tabs below the command bar. We have the tabs actually, okay, which is enabling switching between different team pages. Okay, we'll see later on how we actually add the tabs as well. Channel conversations, okay, depends on where you are actually located. But if you go to the particular team and then hit a particular channel, and obviously on the right side, the majority, the biggest space of this user interface, that is the channel conversation, which is displaying all of the conversations in the selected channel. And then we have the compose box. Compose box, assuming that you're writing an email, is actually a plain text editor where you're actually entering your particular message or particular text, okay, in order to start the conversation, as we've said, one-to-one or one with the group or one-to-many. Okay, and then obviously either you press enter or hit the send button, and then that particular process is actually being sent to a particular team member or a particular team or that particular group. Okay, let's move on and see what we have. Well, we are at the overview of our conversations. Okay, so I'm going just to first read this particular one and then go and then share actually the Microsoft Teams. And we will switch in order to see what we're actually covering in this particular slide with the real work in the Microsoft Teams. Okay, so if we want to run a conversation, okay, first of all, as we've said, we go and click on the Teams, okay, from the app bar, and then expand the team that we're actually intending to run the conversation with. Okay, select general. This is just a channel, okay, default channel. It depends on if you have actually created an app. I myself created some of the channels you will see just shortly. Okay, so selecting general channel from the team section, and then in the post tab, which is in the channel conversation actually screen or the area, the post tabs of the channel conversations either start a new conversation by entering text in the compose box or use the @ sign in order to invite the certain staff to participate. Okay, an example over here, a figure is actually providing the just an example in order to show how we actually did it, that particular thing. Okay, so let me just very fast share it with you the screen. Okay, so here we are. Now we're seeing actually the real app, which is the Microsoft Teams. And what we have over here, just going very fast over the things that we've covered in the user interface. Okay, so this is the app bar, okay, the one on the left. As you can see, the activity on the top, okay, and then the chat, the Teams, calls, files, Zoom, depends what particular actually app you're adding over here. Okay, we'll see then how we add the apps as well. Okay, so this is the new chat box, okay, and then this is the command box, okay, and then this is actually that channel conversation over here. So we are actually at the we went over the overview of the conversations. How we do the overview of the conversations? Well, you go to the teams, and then when you go to the teams, you go to a certain team, okay? For instance, I have the instructors over here, well, this is actually in the Albanian language, okay? Here's the general one, but I went on and created some other channels. If you want to know how you create channels, well, from here, from the more options of a particular team, okay, you just go to the add channel. For instance, like I'm clicking over here, okay, and I'm entering over here like the IT Pro challenges, okay. You can provide some descriptions over here, okay, and then specify whether this is a standard or this is a private one, okay. Depends on how it's actually organized the team within your particular business organization, okay? But as you can see, standard is accessible to everyone on the team, and the private is accessible only to a specific group of people within the team, okay? And then hit add, and then it's actually adding the channel. Here it is, the channel. Now, if I want to start a conversation in this particular one, here's me over here, okay? So I'm just actually running now over here a conversation, and then I'm running to this particular channel. So everyone that is actually part of this particular channel, is, the members of this particular channel or team are actually receiving all of this text, okay? And then a test conversation. And then as we've said, either we actually hit this particular button, okay, or just press enter, and then the conversation is going to start, okay. But you can benefit from using the mention, and then obviously you can benefit from using any of the particular team member, and then just saying hi, okay, and then running a particular conversation. But as you can see in this situation, is this particular conversation is being conducted with one-to-one, as opposed to the previous one, which was the test conversation with all of the team members. Okay, so that was how we actually run the particular conversation. Is this one how we create the channel? Okay, what else? How we actually insert tabs? Okay, if we want to insert tabs, then we can you see. Now, from this particular menu over here, we can actually go to this particular add a tab, which is a plus sign, okay? And then either you search for a particular app in this situation over here, okay? Just an example, okay? Or from the list, which is plenty of the apps available over here, you simply just pick one, and then that particular one is going to actually be part. For instance, I'm going to pick this particular one, okay? And then this is for instance, like the company's, okay, company's website, okay? Here it is. We're going to find the URL over here, okay? In this case, stouty.com, okay? And then if everything is okay with the URL, we hit save. And then once we hit save, here it is, the company's website. Well, now it's becoming part of this particular team. So the instructors team is going to have access to this particular company's website. Okay, what else do we have over here? Well, in terms of the meetings, okay, scheduling meetings depends now, but I'm going to show you how you add apps as well, okay? So coming from here, clicking that one there, okay? As you can see, well, we can find it an app by searching there. For instance, let me see, YouTube, okay? Just an example of that, okay? Or hitting the more apps, and then, well, from here, either you actually searching for an app, or then going on and then actually locating a particular app, or based on the categories from this particular navigation on the left side, okay? You're going to a particular one and then selecting which one you'd like, okay, and then by actually finding the one that you need, and you're able to actually insert it that particular app, okay. It actually is going to be similar in similar format as I've added this particular Zoom over here, for instance, like this one over here, and then Evernote, okay, add Evernote, let's see now, okay, and as you can see now, the Evernote is becoming part of the command box, okay, so it means that we can actually now, but we need to have, as you can see, we need to have an account in the Evernote, so we need to sign in, so in order to, for this particular app to become actually functional, okay. Going now to the Teams, okay, and let's see now how we actually run a particular meeting, okay, whether one-to-one meeting or actually a meeting with the team members, okay. So going to this particular, okay, I'm going to this general over here, okay, and then below over here, pay attention the apps that we've added. Well, here it is, like the Zoom app over here below. I'm sorry, the YouTube, okay, and the Evernote over here, the one that we just added right now, okay. Now, if I want to run a meeting, well, here is the Meet Now button over here. If I press this one, okay, if I want to add a subject, for instance, like staff meeting, okay, if I want my camera on or off, okay, and hit the Meet Now button, okay. If we actually click that particular one, well, here it is. In this case, I'm seeing actually myself over here. But over here, we can then, for instance, like show some background effects, okay? Let's see this one here, okay? It's taking some time until this is actually loading that one, apply, okay? Here it is, it's looking very, very, very neat, okay? And then obviously like this, you can then actually show participants and then ask them to join as well. For instance, I want Samir to join, so ask Samir to join, okay, or the other members from this particular team, okay, but obviously they are not available from time being, okay, so I'm going to close this one, okay, to hang up, or even from here, and meeting, okay, so, confirming that the meeting is ended, okay, and then if we want to actually add connectors, so far we went on and then actually seen how we run a particular chat, okay, one-to-one or one-to group, okay. We went on to see how we add a channel, okay. We went on to see how we add a particular app, okay. We went on to see how we actually run a meeting, okay. But just for information, as actually you're seeing over here, I'm having the Zoom app and I'm not having actually the Microsoft Meeting feature, which is available only if we go for the purchased plans. So in the free version of the Microsoft Teams, you don't have the Microsoft Teams alert. That of course, or you myself cannot benefit from it. But in case that you are actually subscribed, okay, you have a paid plan with the Zoom, and you can integrate the Zoom in this app without no problem, in similar format as myself did in this case. Okay, what else do we have over here? How we add a connector, okay? Here it is. For instance, if I go to this particular one, so I'm actually at the general, and I'm going to the connectors over here, okay? And then from here, I will be very much interested to see which particular one may I use, okay? As you can see, there are plenty of the available apps that are serving as the connectors, and then you can integrate those particular apps in order to become a functional part of your Microsoft Teams environment or ecosystem, if I can say. Okay, for instance, just shortly, I'm going to tell you that I was actually playing with the Google Analytics, okay, and then went on in order just to configure this one, okay, and then as you can see over here, well, here it is. I'm going to which particular the frequency of the reports that I want to have from the Google. Well, hit save over here, and then in the matters of the seconds, within the channel conversations area is going to actually display that particular information. Okay, and here it is actually now right now because it's 9:32 p.m. Okay, so I'm having all of the report that is coming from the Google Analytics regarding regarding the website, which is actually this Dautti.com website. Okay, so this will actually be the thing that we would actually plan to run for this particular webinar. Okay, so before I went on and wrap up what we've actually covered, I'm going just to go back to the presentation. Okay, in order to conclude that particular part and find out if we have questions regarding the participants, okay, in order to answer them. Okay, so let us proceed furthermore and see what we have over here. Okay, so we've covered the conversations. Just wrapping up, okay, overview of the channels. Okay, so the channel is actually part of a particular team, okay, where you're actually conducting all those conversations, all those interactions with the members of the team. Okay, once again, we go to the more options, and then from the context menu or the context list, we actually go and select the add channel, enter the name for the channel, enter the description, set the privacy to standard or private, hit the add button, and then in the matters of the second, we've actually added the channel. And some of the channels you can see over here in this particular slide are actually being presented here. Okay, with that, how we share files. Okay, it looks like I've missed this particular part, but this is straightforward. Like when we go to the general tab and then we go actually to the files from the app bar, okay, and then there we see that we actually have the new, if you want to create a folder or if we actually want to upload a file, okay, and then when we hit the upload, well, then they open up the browse window that we can browse in our computer, locate the file, and then here it is. We can actually then upload. I will show that one right away. Just give me a second so I can stop sharing this one and sharing the interface of the Microsoft Teams. Here it is. Okay, so we are in the Microsoft Teams. In the left side, where is located the app bar, where here is the files, okay, and then within the files over here, it's actually we can over here, as we can see, I'm actually over here so far I have actually uploaded this particular one, okay, but then what else? See below over here at the cloud storage button over here, okay, and then what we have actually is that we can go here at the themes, okay, and then at the general, okay, hit the files here, okay, and then when we hit the files, you see the upload, okay. What about this one? For instance, like the folder. If you want to create the folder, enter the name. For instance, like the test one, okay, create that one, okay. In a matter of the seconds, the folder is being shown over here, okay. And then if I want to upload something in this particular folder, okay, for instance, this particular image over here, okay, a book of mine in Windows XP, okay, and here it is now within the files. If I go to the files over here, well, over here, as we can see, okay, it is actually did not update it yet. Let me see this one, okay, here it is. So I'm having actually the one that I've seen, so I needed to refresh this one. Once I refresh, I'm seeing now the file that I've uploaded, and this file is actually part of the team. Okay, in this case is the instructor. So all of the members of the instructors are actually having access to this particular one. Okay, stopping this one and then straight to the presentation. Okay, sorry. Okay, here it is. So this is how we actually share the file. Now, what else do we have? Overview of the meetings. Well, before we repeat what we've covered regarding the meetings, in the free version, scheduling meetings is not included. So the scheduling meetings is actually included in the purchase plans. Okay, Office 365, whether basic, the business, the standard of the business or enterprise, depends which one we actually will choose, and then from there we will be having the meetings. But apart from scheduling meetings, the Meet Now feature is available. Also that you can add the Zoom if you are actually having the Zoom, whether as the free version or if you have the free version is not working, it will work only with the purchase plans from the Zoom as well. Okay, adding tabs, we've seen actually how we add tabs, and I went on to add the website. Remember when I added the website tab? Okay, so you select the general channel from the team section, click at the plus sign, which is adding the tab. Okay, then from the channel conversation menu. Then you can search for an app through the search box or select an app from a list. You've seen that it used to be like a huge list, okay? And then once you enter the required information, depending on the app, okay? Well, when I went on to choose, like, for instance, like the Google Analytics, you've seen that it was required some, few parameters to set up that one properly, so you can then actually collect the information from the Google Analytics. But the Evernote, I did not have an account for the Evernote, so therefore not benefited. But at least always bear in mind that depends from the app. The app might require some sort of a small setup. Okay, and once you do that one, hit the save button, and yes, that one becomes a part of the Microsoft Teams, and with it, it's actually functional in your workspace of the Microsoft Teams app. Okay, what else? Adding connectors. We've seen that we can add connectors. Okay, connectors actually connecting the particular functionalities from the external resources. Okay, we've seen that one as well. So more options in the general channel from the team section. Selecting a connectors, as we can see from the context menu. Okay, then search for the connector through the search box or select a connector from a list in similar fashion as we've seen adding the app. Actually, once you click the add button and then run again the required configurations, well, then you have the functionality of that particular connector on your Microsoft Teams workspace available to you and available to your team as well.